Good evening. Hello. Okay, well, my daughter got really sick last night and was not feeling well. So I was able to get home a little early tonight, hang out with her, and I played a bunch. And went into an area, and the combination of characters I had did not do very well. So we are switching back to our favorites. And I'm a little surprised that she had a little exhaustion symbol on her when we were... Oh no, it's her bonus. Okay. Okay, so we're looking for... We have to go back over here to the witch's hunt. And... Oh, hold on one second. I'll be right back. Just give me a quick bit. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, we're going down here. Loaded up the save game that had us loaded there while I walked away. So, we need to go talk to the witch here. And I really need to see if we've got some... I need my delay poison. Yeah, we need delay poison. Let's forget these. We might only need one of those, actually. Because it lasts for an hour. Okay, yeah, we'll just get one. And then we'll put Bone Shaker on the rest. And we've got protection from evil. We need resist energy communal is what we need. Which is here. Perfect. Forgot the... Oh, yeah, and he's got delay, poison, communal. Okay, so I actually had it all already. Okay. Well, let's... let's load... Oh, that's... No. That's the wrong save game. Because why would I have the right save game? Okay, sorry about that again. I wasn't even sure if I should stream tonight because I'm going to have to keep popping up and checking on family, so... But I did get fresh coffee. Okay. So, reloaded. Got our save game set. Let's go in here and see if we can now, with this group, take out some of the monsters that my other group could not take out. So let's go do... The first thing is... Let's go... Ah, those stupid inviso lizards. Yeah, I don't know where this scythe tree is. I went over there and got a quest to do something in the scythe tree. The scythe tree can be found in the southeast. A tree by himself isn't much trouble. Okay, well, let's go all the way down here and talk to the witch. So we have some owlbears up here that were crazy hard. We've got some inviso lizards, I don't know what they're called, over here that were tough. And then over here, we had this whole area that was covered in poison gas, and my other group did not have delay poison to cover the whole group. And then over here was a well somewhere that when we opened it up had... You know, I'm kind of surprised the custom map markers, local... I guess I didn't save that game. We'll go over there. Right here, here's the well. Let's go talk to this lady and see. I'm looking for a lost child. Have you seen him by chance? A boy? What would I do with a brat? Pickle him in a jar? Psh, that's rich. Where is it written that if an old woman likes peace and quiet, she's got to be a child-stealing witch? Who knows what could have snatched up a child? Mayhap he's been eaten by goblins or lured into the swamp by wandering lights? Or maybe his poor, sobbing mother, with all her false tears, strangled him in his sleep, and then put him to bed with a shovel somewhere deep in the forest, and now looks for someone to mantle the blame. Go on, squeeze her for answers. Make her tell you where the whelp is, but don't be bothering me. Okay. What? Wait. No. I want to... I'm kind of curious now. Was there like a hidden perception check there? Like, really? Like, is that what's happening now? Yeah, I don't... Okay, so this time we'll save here, because now I know that there's going to be a skill check here. Okay, click, click. She's shaking with indignation. She's a proud woman. You can tell that she's... The fact that she's breaking composure makes you sure she's telling the truth. Okay, good riddance. Okay, so now...
Follow my...
Here's this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get into position here. My gosh, Dusty's back. Word oh word. Let's see what's going on over there. Hello. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Is this working?
Oh my gosh. You live.
It's been a long journey. Hold on, let me mute your stream here, so I'm not getting
Yeah, I muted you. Okay.
drivers and my headset drivers working.
You do.
Give the
It's a
order.
goddamn Christmas miracle, Mr. Anderson.
I'm
It's
listening.
it's pretty good. Did you put a new cooler on your CPU there?
I did. I installed the new heatsink and fan this
Outdoor
morning,
adventures are good for
and
skin
ever
and
since
body
then
shape,
it's been
but
running
they
as
just
cool as a
ruin the
cucumber.
hair.
And I loaded up Borderlands. I
I know
reinstalled
what to
Borderlands for what
do.
has to have been the 5th or 6th time.
Jeez.
And it ran
Right here, my
smooth as a
friend.
baby's butt.
I'm open to your
So I'm now in
orders.
the process of resetting
That's
up my
what I'll
software.
do.
I'm nowhere near setting up my streaming software yet. In fact, I'm worried now that I might have deleted all my streaming overlays or
I
lost
will
my streaming
protect.
overlays. That was the one thing I didn't think could go big out and
Oh
back
yeah.
out. So I may have lost my scene setup. So it may take more than or a whole night to get all my
I
scene
am
setups back up
prepared.
to where they're supposed to be. That could be a lot of work for
Mhm.
us. But everything else, the hardware seems to be working. I've got the video card. I got a brand new SSD drive on both my C drive and my D drive now. I've got a brand new video card installed, a brand new heatsink and cooler. Those were the vestiges of me trying to figure out what was wrong, and then my refusal to return those devices, even though I didn't technically need them.
Well, I was pretty sure that you were describing was some sort of throttling happening. If it wasn't your video card, which was the first thought, like that's the easy thing to check. But when you told me that you swapped out for a new one and swapped to a different brand, I was like, wait, this can't just be like at that point it's not a Windows update
Yeah, right.
driver issue. With the only thing
Exactly.
left is like something failing on your motherboard and throttling
Yeah,
itself down to protect itself. So,
exactly. And so that was the state at which I took it to Micro Center. And I explained, of course, the first guy that I talked to at Micro Center, his name was Harvey. And I'm pretty sure Harvey was about 92 years old. He came out with his walker and he's like, so you got some video driver display. How do you want to describe that? Rendering? Let me write that. I swear to God, that's exactly how it went.
yeah, I don't that's why I don't go to those. I don't go to any place anymore. Like those computer repair places are they're not like they were, 20 years ago or more
Or
now.
even 2 years ago.
I used to
Really? I
go to a
mean,
local
like I,
place where somebody built computers and knew how they were put together
yeah.
and had, voltage meters and heat sinks, a little infrared thermometer, laser thermometer.
Right. Yeah,
And
exactly.
these places, Best Buy, look, I took my mom's machine up to Best Buy. They have all they know how to do is reinstall Windows and put drivers on. That's it.
That really is. I mean, he said he ran his own diagnostics on everything. Oh, well, I mean, it was a week-long story, but in short, like after they'd had my computer for 5 days, the tech finally gets a hold of me and he goes, "Well, I updated your video drivers and it seems to be okay now." And I'm like, "No, I've done all that like 4 times. I
Yeah,
told
it
you
seems
that."
okay now
And
because you
it's
haven't heated it up. That's why.
yeah, exactly. And you haven't done anything. So I walked into like the next day, and this is after a week had already gone by. I walked in the next day on Sunday, and I'm like, okay, I was there at 11:01 when they opened at 11 a.m. And I fortunately, even though I'd removed so all my backups I had moved over to my SSD drive, and then I just pulled out the SSD drive before I took the computer in. So I'd already reformatted the C drive at that point, and I'm like, but the only thing on the C drive I had installed the Final Fantasy benchmark because the benchmark actually
Hmm.
was an easy, straight up thing to run, and it very clearly demonstrated the problem. Like it would run at literally 5 frames a second, and when it finished the benchmark, it would say insufficient and would give me a score of like 200, right, when it was
Hmm.
supposed to be at like 11,000. So so I ran in there and I booted him. I said, "Have you run this benchmark?" He goes, "No." I said, "Well, let me run this for you," because I made him put it on a monitor and I put it on a keyboard while I was there at the shop. And then I showed it to the guys. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's clearly not right. I ran our test on it, but it looked all right on our test, but that's clearly not right." So yeah, so do you have anyone else that can look at this? Because I wanted them to test the motherboard, and if the motherboard was broken or was burnt out, which I suspected was the case, I was just going to buy a new one and have them swap it out. I didn't want to spend my time basically pulling out the whole motherboard and putting it in order to diagnose.
Yeah,
what was
but there's no way. Those places have no way to test things anymore. They don't have
They don't. I
a
guess they don't
tool.
run like, yeah, like the heat tools, like you're talking about, the thermometers and the diagnostics. And I thought that they did, because as recently, I guess, as I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago, when I had this worked on at Fry's, the guys at Fry's were super knowledgeable. Well, Fry's has gone way downhill. You can't even go to Fry's anymore. And Micro Center was supposed to be the next best thing. And yeah, that guy, he just knew nothing. And
Yeah.
what really kind of ticked me off is that I had him, the other guy, the guy who was supposed to know what they're doing, the guy who builds computers, he wasn't going to come in till Monday. So I had to wait till Monday. Monday, he looked at it some more. He couldn't figure it out. So Tuesday, I said, close it back up, close the ticket. I'm coming to get it. Came and got it and brought it home Tuesday. And the one thing, I'm like, well, it's either the hard drive or the motherboard at this point. So I went in and picked up a new hard drive for just a 1 terabyte SSD.
Yeah.
And I put that in, reformatted again, and it was still the exact same problem. I'm like, well, crap. Now it's got to be something in the motherboard. And then I don't know what made me think about it, but I started searching for other, basically at that point, having exhausted all the solutions I could think of, I started searching for other people that had similar problems where the stuff was working and then suddenly it started stuttering and hitching. And I found a post buried way down on Tom's Hardware that's like, what is your temperature running at for your CPU and your video card? And then that was when it clicked. I'm like, oh, fuck, my CPU temp. I bet that could be going on. And I installed a little device, a little piece of software that measures your temps. And I don't know if you saw my Twitter post.
Yeah.
All of my temps were pegged at 100 degrees. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I run my my little water cooler that I got. And it was software that came with the Corsair case I had. Lets me manage my fan speeds and stuff, and create cool little profiles, like curves for fan speed based on temperature. And so when we were having problems last year, right before my video card exploded, essentially, caught fire.
Right. Yep.
I was checking and I was like, why is my temp? Because my video, sometimes it would just flicker and go like really weird, and I'd be like, no, it's only when I was in big heavy games when we were playing, and when I was just on the desktop, everything was fine because it wasn't pushing that. And then it turned out that there was a flaw in that video card that when it drew too much power, was overheating and then just popped. But yeah, and it gets so hot in my office during the summer,
same here.
And I have this fan that doesn't even blow on me; it just blows near the computer to help get hot air out of there. But
yeah,
I'm glad it's working again, because that's way easier to replace. I mean, honestly, heat sinks though are a huge pain to replace compared to a motherboard. At that point, you might as well just replace the motherboard.
Yeah, well, so I had just installed, when I don't have a liquid cooled system or anything real fancy in terms of heat management. When I installed the original CPU and when I built the computer, I just put the factory heatsink and fan on the CPU that came with the CPU.
Oh gosh, yeah, those are the
it's
worst.
Straight up fan and heatsink, then so I pulled that off, and then this time I bought Telmaki, I think is the brand, and it's slightly improved, but it's still just a heatsink and fan. It's just an improved heatsink and
there's some really great heatsink fan combo. I mean, air cooling is still a very, very viable solution, because me and you don't overclock our CPUs. So
no, yeah, exactly. And so I did have to, this morning I pulled it all apart, and thank heavens I've got this good Corsair case that allows me to pull the panels off, because I did have to put when I remounted it, I had to put a bottom plate on the underside of the motherboard and then screw the heatsink and fan to the bottom plate through the pre-cut holes in the motherboard. And I was like, God damn it, am I going to have to pull off the motherboard to get down to this? And because I'm still thinking 1996. And then I'm like, no, you idiot, undo the back screws on your case, pull off the other panel on the back side of your case. I'm like, oh, look, here it is. So it took me about an hour this morning to get it installed. Now they come pre-applied with thermal paste pre-applied on the heatsink, so you don't have to buy.
Yeah, I still, since the last 2 computers I've built, and I'll do it again, I've bought these Corsair self-contained water cooling things, and again, the only reason I bought those versus a nice heatsink fan combo is the good heatsink fan combos. Again, because this office gets so warm during the summer, are so big that I was afraid. Like they were so tall and heavy. I didn't want that thing like pulling. I read about people with their motherboard setups. And it's like you definitely need to get another brace and all this stuff. And I was like, you know what? It is super easy to mount this thing to the top of my case, and then I just take the little heatsink part, put the Arctic Silver, paste on there, and pop it down and tighten it up, and it's done. And I haven't, normally don't have to worry about it. Again, I think a good air cooler might even be better for some setups, but it was worth. And again, I spent a little more money on it than I, fan. Right. Heatsink combo is going to be $50 or so or less, and this thing was $100. But
well, I think CPU and fan or CPU and motherboard are the next things to upgrade on my system now, because I've upgraded everything else. So I didn't want to spend a lot of money on like a new heatsink cooling system for this CPU.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'm basically going to give it like 1 year, and then next year I'm going to basically update my CPU to the current generation, because this is like a 4th gen CPU, and then probably update my motherboard so it'll support the new M2 SSD drivers. Like this motherboard doesn't have any support for that; it only supports the SATA drivers. So just update both the motherboard and the CPU within a year, and then at that point, I think I'm going to do like you did. I'm either going to buy a case that has a built-in water cooler system, or get generally upgrade the cooling all the way around, and pay more attention to the cooling this time. Make sure that I get
I had to really pay, because that problem I have with my video card made me go like, what? From now on, I'm gonna try. But yeah, these the little Corsair Hydro whatever 100, and I know you've bought a bunch of Corsair stuff, so that stuff is, it was a great little piece of hardware. I bought one for my other machine, and then I guess now I'm on my 3rd machine that's had that self-contained water cooling where you don't have to go like fill up your tanks or anything. So. Right. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad. Saw some of your pictures from your trip out.
I don't know if you saw the Instagram stuff, but I had a great time over the weekend. It was a lot of fun. I would have probably rather been building on my computer, but I needed to get out. It's good. It's a lot of
it's good to go see your brother and hang out and stuff.
Appreciative that exactly that I came down there. And what is this Baldur's Gate knockoff that I'm watching?
My gosh, Dusty, this game, I picked this game up last weekend. Got the
Baldur's Gate selection icons. I noticed like the little 4 things. Yeah.
This game is amazing. This is amazing.
This isn't the actual Pathfinder. This is like a different
No, this is a Pathfinder Kingmaker. It's the Pathfinder pen and paper RPG. This is the first CRPG built in there. So it is Baldur's Gate because Pathfinder is based on D&D. It's I cannot because I know what kind of games you like. I cannot recommend this game any more highly so far. Wow. It has been really great.
Like you probably put in like 30, 40 hours by now.
I've put in some time. I'm still in chapter 2, I guess, now. It starts out, and it's got, simple, standard start. They basically throw you at a character creation screen with no ideas at all. What you're... I'll bring up my character page here, and it's like... I'm not going to level up right now, so you can't actually see. But it basically says, pick a portrait, and it's got a handful of portraits. And I'm like...
Look at that character selection screen. Hold on, I need to pull on my glasses here.
Yeah. Here, I'll bring it back up. I just dropped it. When you're on... just like... It's pretty much straight D&D.
Wow.
So, but it uses all the Pathfinder races and classes, which are similar. Sure. But the game opened with... pick a portrait. I didn't like any of their portraits, so I immediately had to go do you have portraits? I'll deal with that tomorrow is what I said to everybody. So I picked a portrait, and I read through some of the classes, and I'm like, I have no idea what class I want to be, because I have no idea what kind of game this is, really. Right. So I was like, okay, human, because that's easy. Right. In D&D, there's all the races. I'm like, I'm just going to be human. And then I'm like looking through the list. I'm like, alchemist sounds interesting. Well, every class has 4 subclasses. So I picked Grenadier Alchemist because that sounded like kind of crazy. And then I said, I started as chaotic good, because I was like, I'm going to be a little more chaotic. I'm kind of like a mad bomber. And
I like
of course, once I started playing, I drifted quickly to neutral good, and then since then am moving towards lawful good.
Look at you. You're over there. Yeah, definitely on the way towards lawful good. If that marker in the middle of the thing is where your current alignment is.
Yep, right there. So, and it's got the skills, and it's got this new, stats, just like D&D, and then it's like, oh, it has a summary page of all of your abilities, lists all your special abilities, and all your feats and traits. And
so did you start off with, like, I see you have a whole party here. Did you start off with one character and then add to your party?
Yeah, you started out with one character, me, and then I met a little halfling bard named Lindsay. And it's, I'm not gonna go through story stuff, but you're basically the game opens with you standing in front of this woman, this sword lord, what is her name? Jamaldi Aldori or some, whatever her name is. And she is a representative, and there's a group, there's some lands, and you can't really see it here because one of the downsides of this game is I have nitpicks, but you can't see the world map from inside of local map. So at least as far as I can tell. But there's, this, in the world of Pathfinder, Galarian is the name of their planet, I guess. We're in the northern section of Galarian on the main continent area. So if you go look at like any sort of Pathfinder map, we're in the northern section, kind of dead in the center, in this area called the Riverlands. And in the Riverlands, there's a section called the Stolen Lands. And it's basically this area that was once ruled by some people, but now it's just been taken over by bandits and monsters. And there's, she's going to send out adventurers. If anybody can go out there, she's going to send parties of adventurers out to the Stolen Lands to reclaim it. And in doing so, if you complete the mission you're assigned, you'll be granted a barony. And so my mission was to go, and then some stuff happens, and you end up with a group, and you set off to the Stolen Lands. And you wander around, and just like a Baldur's Gate game, next thing I know, I'm a baroness now, and I've got I've got a king.
Happen and
oh my gosh, I don't even want to spoil it for you, because if you don't know anything about it, the problem is like if you go look up anything, you'll quickly be spoiled on some of the little simple things that I'm sure the fans of the game are like, how did you not know that was a thing? And I'm like, I had no idea. I showed up at a moment, and I'm like, what's going on? Now the game it was super buggy at launch, and
what platform is it on Steam?
I got it's on Steam, it's on Good Old Games. I bought it on Steam a week and a half ago. It was on sale for 50% off. I bought the full pack with all the DLC.
All right.
And I think it might be on sale right now on Good Old Games for 50% off. But yeah, it's just on this platform. It was super buggy apparently at launch, and they're up to the version 2.0 of the game now, and or whatever number it is, but they've made tons of fixes, and apparently it's fairly playable now. I haven't run into any major issues. My problems I have are minor, like the world map. Like, hey, I'm at the local map area, and there's no way to see what the world map looks like from here.
Yeah.
There's no way to put custom notes down, so I installed a mod that lets me shift left click and put a little banner, this little banner here. And then once you've got a banner down, you can open up the mod menu, and I have this mod menu, and the text is so tiny I can barely even, I had to squint up close to it to see, but you can click, local map areas, and then it has all your local map area notes, and you can type a note in right there, so that way I didn't have to. And then you can also do global map notes. And I was like, okay, cool. The game doesn't have, by default, it doesn't let you rotate the camera. It's just like Baldur's Gate, you're just stuck. But there's a mod that lets you rotate the camera.
So you're like, all right.
Oh, I assumed it was a design decision, Lan. I just think it's a bad one. I want to be able to just see the world map, even if it's just inset here, just so I can have an idea of where I am.
Or you did.
Yeah. I was just talking to Lan here in the
gotcha.
stream. So,
yeah, it's land, right.
yeah, he was saying it's not a bug that we can't see the world map.
Not a bug, yeah. It's just the way it's
I figured it's the
yeah.
design decision. I just think it's a bad one. So,
Right.
like not having some idea of where you are, what the regions are around you inside the local map means you always have to go. Like right now here, I'll just unpause.
Be on guard.
Let's take. Oh gosh, it does not do the you must gather your party before venturing forth. But let me do it. Let me get it. Let me get everybody over here except for one character. I'm gonna take one character down to the transition area. And
No mistakes.
as soon as she clicks on it, it drags everybody down to it.
Oh yeah.
I love this feature. When you leave an area, it any monsters that have dropped loot or any boxes that had loot in them that you opened, it shows up here.
Oh, cool.
So you can be like, oh, I missed something. I'm just gonna leave. Now this is frustrating because it's gonna put me back up top. I think I saved though, so. But to go out to the world map here, this is, and I wish it would let me zoom out even more here. But like, when you're on the world map, up at the top gives you your time and your little date. And when you're in a zone, like I'm down here in the witch's hut area, and when you want to travel someplace, you actually click the button and your little horse travels. So encumbrance matters, fatigue matters, resting is important, exploring, like I found these little locations, but you have to find them by either being told about them and somebody marking you on your map or wandering by it and discovering it. And it is, and then, some of those locations are tiny little locations. It's like, oh, there's a guy here you have an interaction with. But some of them are bigger. One of them was like a big world zone like this one with 2 levels of caves underneath it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and like Lan said, a lot of the missions are timed. So it's like,
oh, nice.
You have to, you have 30 days to complete, like the very first mission where you're sent out to do your thing is you're given like 3 months, I think. And if, I completed, I tried to complete that in exactly 3 months. I wanted to use up every day I had. But if somebody then told me, no, if you complete it in like really fast, you can get some sort of bonus reward. And I was like, what? I don't know if that's true, but I mean, I was just trusting what people say. But when you go to rest, I'm just going to wait, let me see where I was at. I'm going to quick load and see where I saved last.
Right.
Okay, good. So when you rest in a zone, you can you put down a little campsite and you tell everybody to go sit at it. And it brings up the rest menu. And it's like, I had a viewer, somebody in chat the other day, I went for 4 or 5 days playing, and it says rations needed 6. Okay, well, I saw the big manage button, so I clicked it, and you assign, which I need to do actually, you assign people to roles for resting. So like, she's really, Amari is really good at hunting, so I put her in hunting. This guy's good at camouflage, I'm good at cooking. Let's see, if you hover over them, it tells you what their bonus is. So I'm going to put these 2 on guard duty.
Okay.
And then I can pick what food I want to cook. By default, you can cook a hearty meal. But then you'll find recipes out in the world. So I found a few recipes, and you have to have the ingredients on you. So like, I have the ingredients for shepherd's pie. And then you're here, and it still just says rations needed 6. And it said total 15. So I thought that meant I would use 6 of my rations. But Amari hunting says she'll find 0 to 6 rations. And somebody in chat's like, oh, what you want to do is click that button next to the rations needed. So now up at the very top, it changes. It says hunting is required for a rest. The rest will take some time. Doesn't tell you how long. But if you click use rations, it'll say resting takes 9 hours. So if you buy rations from the store and carry some with you, then when you go to rest, it'll take less time. Also, when you're in dungeons, you can't hunt when you rest, so you have to use rations. And I'm like, wait, this just doing this is such a huge improvement over previous CRPGs that had to figure out ways to handle D&D's like once a day sort of spells. It's like here you have to take a rest. If you're out traveling on the overworld, your characters will can only go so long before they get tired and then fatigued and then exhausted, which are huge penalties if a random encounter happens or if you're trying to fight something. So you want to make sure you're resting. All that stuff becomes important, where in previous CRPGs it really wasn't. So I was really happy about, like, holy cow, that's a thing.
That's cool.
So what I'm about to do is I've done this before earlier tonight when I was here, and I opened up this well and 3 will-o-wisps pop out, and they just literally murdered me. So I went and got my other group that's better. I'm on normal plus, not on hard. The difficulty settings in this game, another amazing thing, are difficulty's its own tab. And I set it to critical hits being weak, which is what the default is for normal. But then I upped the damage to party. Because on normal it's 0.8 and I upped it to 1. And I set the enemies to normal strength. Your party speed depends on the weight you're carrying. I turned that off because that was kind of silly. Enable character retrain. When enabled, allows a certain NPC in the game to retrain your character companion. Change. Oh gosh. I guess I could set that if I wanted, so I could respec without using a mod. But I'm pretty much just on
normal with a slight enhancement.
Normal with a slight enhancement. I was gonna play on hard, but hard is like double the crits or whatever, and I'm like, that's just silly. Yeah. So not for my first time playing. I didn't want to mess with that. Okay, so what I need to do here is we need to get ready. So I'm going to buff all these guys. First thing we're going to do is where is my protection from? Oh, here it is. Resist energy. These guys came up and zapped me with lightning, so we're gonna.
Time's not waiting.
Oh, my party's totally out of order too. Jeez.
Share your troubles.
Money streams. Ready for anything. Kino. Money streams.
Oh, I cut my character off before she finished casting that spell.
Money streams.
That's awesome. Okay, so
nice.
Let's see what we do here. We'll detect magic. Knock on the lid. I knocked on the lid. Thanks. I failed that will check.
Finish them quick.
Okay.
I grant you death.
A foul stench pulls forth. Lots of opportunity
Yes, it
to read
does.
things.
Crazy part is I don't really have. Wow, that fireball. I don't want fireball. That's gonna murder everybody.
Right? Classic Baldur's Gate thing there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Friendly fire is a thing.
Yep. Friendly fire is a thing. Now, the thing is, I know that there were 2 other. I positioned myself because I knew the other time there were 2 other wisps appeared over here.
Let us strike as one.
Yeah, right there.
Do not falter.
Tear them apart!
Oh, great. And they go invisible. Freaking fantastic. So I'm a mad bomber, but my bombs don't hurt my teammates.
Oh, nice.
I wonder if Bone Shaker works on Will-O-Wisps. Gosh, murdering me. God, why? They just keep hitting me.
Ow.
They killed one, but I'm down. See if I can make something happen here. Oh wait, not that. This.
So just like Baldur's Gate, it's all very pause and execute and pause.
Yep. Yep, very much that.
Are you pretty much assigning every individual player member their own actions, or you not the AI do?
I have the AI turned on, so if I don't do something, they'll default, and it doesn't really have like any sort of. I guess it just uses some sort of internal logic to figure out what it's going to do. That's all. And you can set up the pause options are pretty big, so if I could probably set it to like pause at the end of every turn, even if I wanted. See if we can. Oh, I already had that on me. Oh, I forgot to tell her to rage. Jeez. And turn off a cleave.
This won't kill me. Go down!
I'm like the worst player. I am just missing. I can't hit these things at all.
I see the
Oh, we finally hit.
of my family.
Oh. Ekandale went down. Okay, 2 down.
Hi, Doc.
I love the scrolling combat text as well.
Yeah. And then what's great is you can go over to the chat log and see what the roles were. And one of the mods I have added some stuff, so... yeah, no, Pillars of Eternity 1, even I haven't played 2, but I heard it's got even more options. Yeah, Land's talking about the AI in Pillars of Eternity. And I played a little bit of Pillars of Eternity, and I think they need the AI more because their combat was so much faster. At least Pillars of Eternity 1. I couldn't, and my party constantly just mushed up together. And I don't know if it was just me not being as bright about what I was doing, or if it's, I think it's a combination of, I sort of understand basic D&D stuff, and they're using terms that I completely understand, and I can see the terms and see what's happening. And I think the combat here is a little slower, and I want to control all of my party members.
Yeah.
That's part of what I like about it.
Kind of game, right? Exactly.
But I can understand in Pillars of Eternity, and I think Neverwinter even had a little bit of that, where they had some of the AI like control. Let's see if we can do this. I wonder if this even works. Try its dazzling display. Yes, we did it.
He's down.
I keep forgetting to use my dazzling display. I'm using this game as a test for streamer stupidity, and I saw some pretty offensive cases. Oh man. I feel really stupid when I'm playing sometimes. Yeah, man, this week when I've been playing Dusty, it's been... I felt so dumb so many times. Man, coins with names on it. Wait, why are there... I have another guy here who needs 2 coins. He's dead, and he needs 2 coins basically to put on his eyes to send him off. I'm wondering if that's him. I can't remember.
Follow my lead.
Let's see if it's in here.
You need to put coins in his eyes to send him off for him to die completely, or so you can resurrect.
He said, where is he? He's over here. Let's go find him and see if it's... where was that house? Here it is. We'll go find out. So did you get Borderlands all back installed? Because
I did. I got it reinstalled and I tested it out today. I ran around the ship a little bit tonight, and so I'm ready to go tomorrow. If you want to pick up tomorrow, or just whenever you're ready to pick up. I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow yet, because I've probably got quite a bit to set up still to do to get my streaming back up and running. But the game itself, I mean, even if I'm not set up to streaming, we can play tomorrow.
awesome. That sounds great. Yeah,
Whenever you're ready.
yeah. I might, if you're gonna be up for a little bit, I might just save this and put a pin in it, and 'cause I've been playing this for a lot tonight, and go finish this little quest here. So the dead man stands before you and stares with his dry, unblinking eyes.
Yeah, I'm just installing Steam right now. It's asking for my code, and it's not sending it to the email that I think it should. So
The
I
dead
don't
man
have Steam
starts to
installed,
shake.
but I have the Epic Store and I have Borderlands installed.
Silent actor or
and,
silent slobs,
it's
you cannot
definitely
tell.
working.
Yes,
should be
there,
good.
I
So,
see.
and I've verified that my headphones and microphone are working as of this.
These, give me these. Should I put the cursed coins in the dead man's eyes? I'm sure that's fine, right?
Well, if you've got them,
The coins evaporate. The coins on his eyes turning to mist. The dead man gives a rattling sigh, then slumps to his knees. Thank you. Oh, he gave me a cloak of resistance +2. I'll take that. I sent him off. We did the best we could. There's one less undead in our lands now.
Right? One less ghoul to rake you with his fingernails and paralyze.
All according to plan.
Yeah, I don't know. There might have been something better to do there, but I won't. I've been just living with my choices too. By the way, I'm just like, nope.
Wow, really? You haven't been doing the progress by reload?
Save scumming is alive and well, mind you, but
Okay.
massively. I mean, huge save scumming. But when I make decisions and I decide, like, okay, I've tried all 3 decisions and saw how they played out in the immediate future, and I decide what I'm going to do, I almost always go back to my first choice. And then have just lived with it long term. I haven't gone back like a full day's saves to go change something. So
I know the way.
okay, now there was another guy over here. The guy we just helped, his fiance he believed that this other guy sold his fiance off to the Fae. But this guy says his daughter was in love with one of the Fae and left her fiance. Maybe she did. By the time of the wedding, I had passed. Still, a Fae marriage wasn't unheard of here in the village. The Fae lived close to these woods, and trysts happened. Love bloomed. Children were born. Take Elga Vernex, for instance. Her mom conceived her in the forest. Her father, a satyr of all things. Elga was born with greenish skin and sharp ears. But so sharp, pretty she was. I wish I knew what happened to her. I like that one of my options is just, it's undead, kill it.
Right?
Which curse? Why are you saying these
That's a
sort of
pretty
things?
valid option.
You never had
in
any
all cases
curses.
where it's
What are you talking about, coins? Forgive an old man, but my memory is not what it was. What were you talking about? I opened the well and scattered the will-o-wisps. You did? And I still can't rest? So it wasn't those lights after all. I must have done something wrong. Or maybe I had done something. But I didn't. Damn it, I can't remember. Okay, well, this guy can't remember. Yeah. Well, Lan, you know, sometimes you have to. Okay, so I can't remember what to do with this. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that guy. I guess, you know, we'll find out later. Something is keeping that guy from resting, so... And then over here is why I'm here now. Because there was this giant poison cloud here, so... But we'll come back to this. What I am going to do now is actually rest. Ooh, I leveled up too. Sweet. I'm just going to save. Alright, well, I want to go play some Borderlands.
Sweet.
Because I have been missing out.
Yeah, let me grab a quick cup of coffee, and I will be online in Borderlands.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, Lan, I purposely went and switched my group out to come back to this zone,
Right
so I
here, my
could
friend.
bring Tristan, who had delay poison communal. Because I came in here with stupid dwarf guy and who I've turned into a level 3 cleric, level 3 druid, and he did not have communal because I didn't have enough delay poisons between all the characters. But I am gonna go spend the last of my evening doing some Borderlands, and then I'll be back tomorrow night doing some of this for a bit. Me and Dusty have been doing a co-op playthrough of Borderlands. We had to put it on hold while his computer was busted, so we want to get back to it and wrap that up. But I am going to keep playing this, try to play a little bit every night. So I'll probably tweet out when I'm going to start playing and what I'm doing. So yeah, come back. I can definitely use tips. So. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Tristian's going to be my full cleric. I'm just going to keep leveling him all cleric. I've got Octavia doing Arcane Trickster, and then she'll be back to Wizard. Ekindeo is probably just, for now, just going to be Ranger. I don't know if I'm going to do anything else with him.
I'm listening.
Amari's been... I've been doing Barbarian, and then did up to level 3 Fighter, and now she's going to go back to Barbarian. And
I am
Valerie,
yours to
I
command.
did... I dipped her into one level of Thug just to get the... where is it? The Terrifying? The Frightening. And then the Sneak Attack dice. And then I've got that Opportunist Attacker or whatever on both her and Amari. Oh, you just switched her from Inquisitor to Cleric. How did that work out? Does she do well as just full Cleric? I wasn't really sure how to use her, so I haven't really taken her out since I got her back in my group. I need to start using Dazzling Display more often. I forget about having it. No, she's not very good at healing. Man, Tristian is really good at healing. Better than that dwarf, that's for sure. I did like her personality, but I found it when I was using her in the prologue or whatever. It was tough because I didn't know how to heal her, and I ended up killing her like twice. Having to reload. And then I figured out, oh yeah, she's undead, so I can't use heals. Got to use inflicts on her. I love all the details like that. It really does make me smile. And man, this dude, Ekindeo, is just super strong. Like, I just got him yesterday, and him and his dog are just great.